All right, let's dive right in. If you're running a small business with some truly big ideas, you've probably asked yourself, where does the funding come from? Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on the world of federal funding. We're talking billions of dollars just waiting to be invested in the right kind of innovation. Think of this as your guide to getting your tech out of the lab and into the real world. Let's go.
So picture this. You've got it, a breakthrough, a real game changer. But how do you get from a prototype that works to a product that sells? That funding gap? It's what people in the industry call the valley of death. It's where so many brilliant ideas just run out of steam. But what if I told you there's a bridge being built right over it?
You heard that right. The U.S. government isn't just some far-off regulator. It's probably the single biggest customer for cutting-edge technology on Earth. And they've set up some seriously powerful ways to find and fund businesses just like yours. So this right here, this is your map. We're going to break down the two main highways to that funding, and I'll even show you the on-ramps.
Okay, our first path is a name you might recognize, but trust me, it just got a massive upgrade. We're talking about America's Seed Fund. This is the powerhouse duo of the SBIR and STTR programs, and they've been completely turbocharged for today's world. This is a huge deal. Thanks to a new law, these programs are locked in and funded all the way out to 2031. This gives everyone, especially small businesses, some much-needed stability. But it's way more than just an extension. It comes with some incredibly powerful new tools. And right at the heart of this big change is something called Strategic Breakthrough Awards. You know, the whole point here is to find tech that's already showing real promise and then just pour rocket fuel on it to get it across that valley of death we talked about. For businesses that are ready to scale up, this changes everything.
Just let that sink in for a second. $30 million per project. That's the new maximum award. I mean, think about that. That's the kind of money that doesn't just move the needle, it creates a whole new ballgame for a company's technology.
So how does this actually work? Well, the big federal agencies, we're talking about the heavy hitters like the Department of Defense, NASA, the Department of Energy, Health and Human Services, can now dedicate part of their budget to make these huge, focused awards. It's all about putting major resources behind the most critical tech to get it deployed, fast. Now, of course, with that kind of money, the bar is set pretty high. First off, you can't be a newcomer. You have to have already won a Phase 2 award, which proves you've got something real. You also have to bring your own investment to the table, 100% matching funds from the private sector or other sources. And for a Department of Defense award specifically, you've got to show the tech is ready to go and that someone is lined up to actually buy it. It's tough for sure, but it's meant for serious players.
Okay, so we've talked about the supercharged SBIR highway. Now let's switch gears and talk about the express lane. This is called Other Transaction Authority, or OTA. And if you care about speed and getting things done without a lot of red tape, you're going to want to pay close attention.
You know, the most important thing to understand about an OTA is what it isn't. It is not a standard, slow-moving government contract. It's intentionally designed to bypass most of those complicated federal acquisition rules. And that freedom, it allows the government to be way more agile and collaborative, especially when they need to get their hands on new research and prototypes quickly. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. I mean, look at the difference. On the left, you've got the old way. Rigid, slow, bogged down in rules that frankly scare off a lot of innovative companies. And on the right, you have the OTA. Flexible, fast, and collaborative. It's built from the ground up to attract the kind of innovators who just don't have time for the old system. So what's the bottom line for you? Well, it means you get your solution into the hands of users way faster. It means you can actually adjust and pivot during the project. You get to work with your government partners, not just for them. Honestly, this is the main gateway for commercial tech companies that would never have even thought about working with the federal government before.
Okay, so we've covered the what. We've got two powerful pathways to get funding. Now for the really important part. Where do you actually find these opportunities? Let's pull out the map to this whole innovation marketplace. So your home base, your first stop for anything SBIR, is always going to be SBIR.gov. That's the main hub. But things get really interesting when you look at some of the specialized platforms. The DoD has TradeWinds, for example, where you can literally pitch your AI solution with a video. Then there's Vulcan, which hooks you up directly with Special Operations Command. And the Air Force has Tech Connect, which is like an open door to share your early ideas and get feedback from their top experts.
But hey, it's not all just about browsing websites. One of the most powerful and maybe less known ways to get in the game, especially with OTAs, is by joining a consortium. Think of these as innovation ecosystems. It's a club of companies, universities, and government folks all laser-focused on one tech area, whether it's cybersecurity, aviation, you name it.
When you join a consortium, you are right in the middle of the action. You get early, simplified access to funding opportunities, you can team up with other innovators to go after bigger projects, you even get a say in where the technology is headed. And the best part? The speed is just incredible. We're talking about getting awards done in 90 days or less. That is lightning fast.
All right, you know the pathways. You know where to look for opportunities. Now for the final and maybe the most crucial piece of the puzzle, making sure your company's actually ready to compete. This is your essential pre-flight checklist.
There are 3 things that are absolutely non-negotiable. Number 1, get registered in SAM.gov to get your official unique entity ID. It's like your business's social security number for the government. Number 2, and I can't stress this enough, get your cybersecurity in order. This is a huge deal now. You have to meet federal standards like NIST 800-171. If you don't, it's a showstopper. And finally, be smart. There are now limits on how many proposals you can submit, so you have to focus your energy on your absolute best shots.
So look, the whole game has changed. The funding is real, and the pathways to get it are faster and more flexible than they have ever been. From the supercharged SBIR program with its $30 million awards to the agile OTA fast track that cuts through the bureaucracy, the tools are right there, waiting for you. So the only real question left is, what breakthrough are you going to deliver?